Eh? Okay, YouTube. Let's see if this works. Now you work. All right. So, everybody, my apologies for the late tardiness. I actually scheduled a stream, and when I went to stream to it, it said excellent connection. So I knew I had the right stream key, everything working, but it said connect to your software to work. To connect your software to start the stream. So I actually scheduled the stream with the purpose of, finally being a professional with it and actually having it ready for people to see where it is. And it actually wound up backfiring on me and not working at all. So yeah, I had the right stream key. Everything was set up right. It said excellent connection, green dot. You look above and it would say connect streaming software to go live. So it makes absolutely no sense. So I'm just going to post a link to this and the other one. And that will be that. Thank you very much to YouTube for being a piece of... Anyway. So let's see what we have here. So we have... let me just pop out my live chat here so I can actually read it and see it. Resize my OBS window here. Move this down. Is this really from a Framework laptop webcam? Well, this certainly isn't from a professional camcorder, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, this is from my laptop webcam, and I'm using my Zoom audio as an audio interface for my DPA microphone. I use this when I do my bike videos, so I plug this in and I put a piece of foam over it. But you can also use it as an audio interface, and this also provides power to plug microphones like this, which is really cool. So I finished up some interesting little chores this morning. I'm finalizing an arrangement with a lobbyist in Missouri, Illinois, there was a lobbyist that was hired in Washington through another organization that we've supported that is actually making some progress, and I'm going to be working on Georgia next. This is pretty exciting, and I just want to say thank you very much to all of you who helped make this possible. I am not a multimillionaire. This is not something that I can do on my own, but with the help of all of you, we are actually making some good progress. This 501c3 and 501c4 are going to be supporting people supporting right to repair in a great way. It's fine, Louis. We appreciate you taking the time to be here. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Also, sorry for the shit lighting. Let's see. If I do this, do you get any... Yeah, we go. That's kind of better. Yeah, but then I got it. This chair at this hotel sucks. This is what you get when you stay at a cheap-ass hotel. Look, this chair has no back support. So, like, it just permanently does this. Maybe I'll just read it like this. Yeah, what the hell? Yeah, it's actually killing me to... Like, I have to sit up straight with no back support. So I'm just going to do this. And I'm going to do this with my framework. Because I'm using my laptop webcam. This is my framework. I enjoy my framework. It's a nice little machine. How much exercise does your cat get? Mr. Clinton actually does running back and forth. He runs back and forth all the time. He stays in shape. He's a fucking buff cat. Oreo doesn't do anything all day long. How is Framework so far? I like this laptop. I really do. I kind of feel guilty because I watched Linus's video where they said that they offered to send it to him for free, and he said, no, I want to buy it because I believe in this. And they offered to send it to me for free, and I said, sure, why not? So I kind of feel like a piece of shit from that. But yeah, I like this laptop. The reason I didn't buy it is because I had a ThinkPad. I had a ThinkPad P50, and it already worked. And as many of you who watch this channel know, if something already works, I just keep using it. Like, I believe the Atom is a better rework station than the Quick, but it's not better enough for it to be worth taking the Quick that already works off of my desk. I was going to run that ThinkPad into the ground until I destroyed it, and I was pretty close to destroying it with, how poorly it's been treated, and admittedly how poorly the TSA has treated it. And it was still working, so I really had no reason to purchase another device. So I accepted it for free. But it's a nice little machine here. Why did you choose to repair specifically MacBooks? I was working in music production and audio recording studio gear repair back in the day, and I needed a machine to run Logic on. And I bought one, and the one that I bought to be able to do what I needed with it came broken. So I fixed it, and then when I didn't need it, I resold it. And then I realized that there was a very, very large gap in Apple product repair. A lot of the repair shops that did repair PC laptops would not stock the parts to repair Macs, would be scared to repair Macs, would have horrible turnaround times or insanely high prices. So there was a niche there that I could fill. With PC laptop repair at the time, there wasn't really much of a niche. There were a lot of people doing it already. With Macs, all the PC places were scared of them, and I didn't think it made sense to be scared of them. So there was a niche that I could fill. It was an opening in the market for me to enter, and I entered it. What camera are you using for the stream? This is my Framework laptop camera. Your website shows OOS. Any place to buy these via one of your referrals. I don't know. Please don't use confusing acronyms. What's OOS? Oh, crests. Do you suggest a 45 or 132 kilohertz? You don't need 132 kilohertz, man. 45 kilohertz is fine. Don't pay the extra for the 132. I stopped selling them because dealing with crest is an absolute fucking nightmare. There was a point in time where Steven Viniera, I shit you not, they actually made a trip all the way to the other end of New Jersey, stayed in a hotel overnight just to pick the shit up from them because they kept putting off sending us the stuff that we had paid for. And it's just like, they make really good cleaners. They make amazing cleaners, but dealing with them as a business is fucking painful. So I stopped buying from them and dealing with that altogether. But they make amazing cleaners. They really do. And I still believe that they make top-notch cleaners that perform better than many other companies. It just wasn't something that I could deal with. And you can see, if you look at the companies that actually resell Crest, like Balka Switch Enterprises, their reviews are universally horrible. And some of that may be because Balka Switch Enterprises sucks, but a lot of it, I imagine, is because they're dealing with Crest. And I think they make amazing cleaners. I don't make money if you buy a cleaner from somebody else at this point in time. If you don't go through the Amazon affiliate links that I'm honestly too even lazy to put in this video. So it's not like I'm paid by them to say this. They make good cleaners. It's just as a company, I don't have the patience to deal with them anymore. And I used to, but I can't. It's like your calls go to voicemail. It's just... You ask about an update on a particular product. It's supposed to be here next week. It shows up 3 weeks. It's just like, no, I can't do it. There's not enough profit involved to make it worth my while. I want to upgrade the storage on my MacBook. Is there a way? There may be a way, but I don't know what it is. I'm sorry. I'm not going to say no, because one thing that bothered me is when Apple stores would say that a board can't be repaired simply because they can't repair it. That would frustrate me. Just because you can't do it, don't say it can't be done. Do I know how to do it? No. That doesn't mean that it can't be done. Maybe somebody else knows how to do it, but I can tell you that I don't know how to do it. Framework laptop fan screaming, your AC blowing. Actually, both. I just got back from the hotel gym. I did a bunch of dumbbell squats because they don't have a barbell here and some other exercises. So I cranked the air conditioner. I just took a shower and had the air conditioner cranked. And so my Framework laptop fan is spinning fast. Because this is an Ultrabook. At the end of the day, this is not going to be quiet when I'm streaming. This is kind of an Ultrabookish format. And also my AC is on full blast because as much as I value audio quality, I just got back from the gym and I want to be cold. What state are you in? I'm in upstate New York. I'm visiting Jessa before I go back to shitty New York City. I wanted to visit Jessa. She's a good friend. I admire her. I admire her company. I admire her work. And I feel like really, really bad that I haven't visited her as often as I should. I'm also visiting Tim Herman. Test. Sorry, I went to grab my protein shake from the fridge and I unplugged my audio interface. So Tim, I came up here to visit Jessa, who is a good friend of mine. I admire her work, I admire her company and what she's built out of nothing. And I also, she's teaching this week, and I also wanted to visit Tim. Tim from TCR Circuit is no. And I also don't believe that you're an actual female. But there's, what was I saying? Yeah, Tim is a real success story of Right to Repair, of this channel, of what happens when you share information openly, and he's teaching a class up here this week. I'm really proud of him. I never got to meet him in person. He sent me a letter when he was like 16 years old, when he had first started his business, and he really managed to do some amazing things, and he probably knows more than I do now, and I'm really happy to see that he's actually working and teaching other people. It's crazy when you get, I remember, never going to forget the letter I got from him in 2016, saying that he got started fixing MacBooks from watching this channel. And he sent me that letter when he was 16 years old. He's now 21, and he probably does a better job than I do. And now he's teaching a class that people are paying for and how to do it. It's absolutely fucking amazing what's happened as a result of of this channel. And I wanted to see it in person. I wanted to come up here to see it in person. Can't wait for Framework to arrive in Europe. I'm excited for them. What size of screen on this laptop? No idea. Let's see. Work. Did Erica finally get a cookie? No, I took it from her. I actually confiscated all of... I also confiscated her brownie. She's not getting a brownie, and she's not getting a cookie. A beer for the right to repair superhero. Thank you, but I'm actually getting a protein shake. I just went to the gym. This is the only thing that I could... This is probably not the best protein shake, but this is all they had available at 7-Eleven last night at 1 in the morning. What do you think about me trying to create a mod board for an ISL 9239 to work like an ISL 9240? Here, the problem with that, and the problem with that in general, is that by the time you create it, somebody's going to find the chip. And then all the time and effort and money that you put into creating that may wind up being a waste. And that's what keeps people from investing in this business. And that's a big part of the problem. It may be a great idea, but it may be literally a week after you do that, somebody from Intersil leaks that chip out to everybody, and then that is no longer needed. So if you want to do it because you think it's cool, go for it, but it may be a risky thing to do financially. How'd you like the Stroop waffles? They weren't bad. They weren't bad. Rich Rebuilds is a very well-stocked van. I'm actually female. My friend introduced me to you. Okay, then that's scary. In that case, that would be a first. There have been men on this channel that have requested feet pics, but never a female that requested feet pics. That is... Hopefully Erica comes back with some pepper spray. Eric Adams says he wants to meet you at Gracie Mansion in February to speak about right to repair. I don't think that's true. I'm going to Google that. I have a feeling that's not true. I have a feeling that is... yeah, quick Google search demonstrates that that's most likely not true. I mean, it would be cool, but not... But yeah, I sincerely doubt that is true. I have my doubts. Okay, you keep spamming, so you go. If you type the same thing over and over and over again, you out of here. Bye-bye. Next. GTFO. We need to hire a mod here. What are your recommendations for finding a job for a guy with no experience in the repair business? I would suggest making some of your own experience and then doing some of the work yourself. You can buy an Acer 5517 and practice taking things apart. You could read guides online. You could buy broken stuff and try to make it work again. That's what I did in the beginning with the last of the money that I had left. I just bought garbage, broken crap, and I spent, I stayed up until 2 or 3 in the morning in my room tinkering, messing with it, and then I had experience. But it wasn't good enough experience to get hired by a real company. The only company that I could get hired by was a scamming company called Laptop MD in Midtown Manhattan that's run by somebody who is... That could be a video in and of itself. I quit after 4 days, and I wound up stealing the 2 best employees from that business to work here, which wasn't really that much harder because all you had to do is... It's not hard to beat the salaries that they pay. But nobody wanted someone without experience, so I just built my own experience, and then instead of dealing with the middleman of another business, I marketed directly to consumers. I went to Craigslist, Backpage, Kijiji, I went to pizza shops and put up little pull tab signs, all sorts of shit like that. Advertised online everywhere, tried to show, built a little website for myself, and then I marketed myself directly to consumers so that I could bypass the middleman of an employer that says, well, we want you to have 20 years experience and a PhD, starting pay is up to $13 an hour. Like, fuck that. So what I would do is I would market yourself directly to the customer rather than trying to find a job. Because again, one of the things, there's many industries where you cannot start a business. I hear this all the time, Louis, not everybody can start a business. But this is one of the easiest industries where you could start a business from scratch. Like there's the lowest barrier to entry to enter the independent repair business than virtually any other business there is, which is great. What do you think of Dan Price, the millionaire CEO, decided to pay all his employees $70,000 minimum, including himself, and thrived? I remember a lot of people were saying that they hope he failed because that's socialist back in the day, and I think that that's very ignorant because because what he did was voluntary. He said, I am going to pay people an above average rate, and let's see what happens. It wasn't that he was forced to by somebody. He chose to. So if that worked for him, if that model worked for him, and it was successful, then by all means, I think that that's great. Again, not everybody's going to have that opportunity. He cut his pay down to 70K to pay everybody 70K. There's a lot of people out there with smaller businesses that it's not like they can cut their salary from 500,000 down to 50K to pay everybody because they're already making only 50K, if anything at all. But I'm very happy that what he did worked, and the people that called that socialism, I don't think they understand what socialism actually is, because what he was doing is he made a choice to pay himself what he paid himself so that he could pay his employees what he believed they were worth. And I think the people that were calling that socialism were just speaking out of their ass entirely. And I'm very happy that his company is successful. And as long as all those stories out there are correct and that they weren't all just fluff piece bullshit that was just made up, I wish his company the best of success going into the future. Again, I have a limited... Are you going to live stream the class? No, nobody cares. Everybody says they want me to live stream a board repair class. No, you don't. No, you don't. You wouldn't watch it. Like, you don't watch the board repair videos that I do anyway. And the classes that I've done in the past, they are literally explaining all the same shit that I do already, except you would have people asking questions or like get confused. It's literally the same shit I explain in every video that none of you watch anyway. So like me streaming board repair class, it's like, again, I've streamed over 600 board repair videos. If someone wants to sit in a room and pay money to actually learn something, I'm not going to just stream their questions, them being embarrassed when they're confused, they ask something stupid. I don't want them to think, shit, I'm afraid to ask a question because he's streaming this and I don't want to look stupid to the world. And admittedly, at the end of the day, when I've taught in person, oh my God, I made 1,000 R's! Your cat is so cute, and I guess right to repair is cool too. Thank you very much for the 1,000 R's. I have no idea what that is, but maybe it'll buy a protein shake. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, nobody watches board repair stuff. No, you watch when I do. You don't want to watch board repair. You want to watch me point a video at a grate in the street and say, "LOL, New York is stupid." How come you were on Jess's channel yesterday? Jess, for the last 7 years that I've known her as one of my best friends, she never answers her phone. Half the time her phone is dead, and the Porio is still best kitten. Prove me wrong. He brings in less viewership. He brings in less revenue. He's overweight. He's slovenly. And he doesn't clean himself after he poops. Mic drop. Let's see. Where was I? So yeah, Jessa never answers the phone. It's been a meme forever for anybody. So what I did is I streamed on her channel I hijacked her channel in the hopes that somebody would like tap her on the shoulder and say, "Louis, hijack your channel," at which point she would call me and say, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then I could say, "Hey Jessa, how are you?" We have a relationship where we troll each other back and forth, and it goes back about 7 years. What and where do you recommend getting into e-bikes? I would recommend checking out the site called, what is it? I think it's Grin. It's ebikes.ca, I think, in Canada. Grin. They're they're a really good company. They support. They offer very good support. They support, and you may pay a little bit more there than you will anywhere else, but the support that you get makes it worth it. They're really good people. With a mod board, you also wouldn't have to worry about minimum electrical clearance and the footprint it would take in the machine. Yeah, there's a lot of that. Change the GoPro to a DJI Osmo. Thank you for the advice. Yeah, it's a much better camera. The one issue I have with the DJI is that if you're doing long-term recording, every now and then it'll just stop randomly. And it's not because it's hot, because what I do in my car is I have the air conditioner blowing directly on it, and I'll feel it when it does that. When it randomly stops, I'll put my hand up and feel it, and it's cool. And the SD card is not, it's a SanDisk Extreme. It's not a cheapie, and it just does that randomly. So that's annoying. But it doesn't crash anywhere near as often as the GoPro. GoPros crash constantly. It's very frustrating. It's very annoying. They fundamentally do not work. They're horrible. Poor speaker on framework. No, it's actually using the Zoom as a speaker because it's set to use this as an audio interface, and I honestly don't care because it just lets me know when a donation comes through, so I don't give a shit if it's coming out of this little crappy speaker. The speaker in this is a piece of crap. I'm mainly using this as an audio interface. This microphone that I'm using requires 2 to 5 volts of plug power, so I can't just plug it into any random line input or mic input in a laptop because they don't have that. So this provides plug power, which is needed for this microphone to work, which is not phantom power, by the way, because some fuckface in the comments like, "Louis, you're a dumb audio engineer. Why are you calling it phantom power?" Phantom power is 48 volts. Plug power is 2.5 to 5 volts, which is for typically lavalier microphones, head-worn microphones, portable microphones like these DPA microphones. And phantom power is typically for full-sized microphones that are designed for use in a studio with an XLR connector. Favorite MacBook to work on? 820-3437 board inside of an A1466 2013 MacBook Air. When will you get Paul or another employee to do board repair again? I miss those. It's real. I don't know. It's really difficult to get other people at the store to do board repair videos. I have tried. I have failed, and I will try more when I get back. So thank you very much, Mr. Lumberton. I appreciate that. But there's the thing is, you can ask people to do something. You can ask them, what would it take for you to do this? Or like, what would be necessary for you to do this? Or what do you think we need as a business so that we could do more of this? And then you could, at the end of the day, it really is up to the employees as to whether or not they're going to do it. I'm not the type of boss that wants to just tap people on the shoulder every fucking day and say, hey, you got to do this. Hey, you got to do this. Hey, you got to. It's like, it's just not my style. It's annoying. I'm not a type of person that does that. But yeah, to get people to do board repair videos, I would have to do that. And I have not been in the store physically to be able to do that because I was traveling to do the organizing in Massachusetts for the past week and a half. So I haven't been there physically to do that. But I will probably do that when I get back because so that we can have some more board repair videos that are done by somebody that can actually do them properly, not just shake constantly as they're fucking everything up. Let's see. You've motivated me to start saving and buying gear, starting with my own company. Thank you. Almost all electronics manufacturers are dying for techs right now. Huge labor shortage that could be something to check out. If you can lead into repair, they will pay you to train you as a tech. I'm not at the point to pay to train people, I'll be honest with you, because it's like, I have really bad luck with that, where I could, again, I've tried. I've written manuals, I've written guides, I have a wiki with every single fucking problem listed. Thoughts on EU forcing companies to make devices USB-C? Listen, if they want to do that and they want to separate that from right to repair, fine. But just please do me a favor and just don't brand that under right to repair, because that's not what I advocate for. That's not what I advocate for. I advocate for the bare minimum, if government will be involved, the bare minimum that is necessary so that there can be competition in the marketplace and people can perform repairs. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole where the government is mandating how devices are designed. I never want to live in a world where we have, like, you know, fucking Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and AOC arguing with each other over whether a device should use a micro BGA chip or a QFN chip. I don't want to go within 10 miles of that slippery slope because there's a lot of subjectivity to that. What standard should be used here? What standard should be used there? No. There are basic standards like don't not make things available to independent repair that you make available to your own service centers. Like, that's an easy one. There's no subjectivity to that. That's set in stone. But figuring out, okay, how far should we go with telling the manufacturer how they design the product, I just don't want that to be branded with right to repair. Obviously, USB-C being used rather than a Lightning port, USB-C is superior to Lightning. It's a better technology. It means that consumers can use the same cable with more devices. I would prefer that the device use USB-C, but I am not asking the government to say that it must use USB-C, and I would just prefer that that be completely separate from right to repair, because that's not something that I'm advocating for legally. Even though I would prefer that be the case, it's not something that I'm advocating for legally, because I don't want that talking point of right to repair mandates how a manufacturer designs their product to ever gain any credibility or credence, because that's not what I've ever advocated for, and I don't want to go down that road. Yeah, so when it comes to the tech thing, I've never had luck with random training. I don't have luck with trying to train certain people, and I don't have the resources to be able to give somebody, $16,000 while I'm training them and taking time away from my own work to figure out if they don't suck. So I've typically just gone the route of stealing people from other businesses and offering them more money. I know this is early, but what is something you learned that will not repeat next year? That's a very general question. Do you mean in business? Do you mean in lobbying? Do you mean in life? With lobbying, I suppose one of the things that I've learned... how about this? This is a really, really broad and general question. Look before you leap. I'll just leave it at look before you leap is something that I have. Louis, do you listen to Blind Melon? I have no idea who that is. Look before you leap has been a big lesson for me. A millionaire pays his staff $70K, but he's already a millionaire. Yeah, again, I don't really know what to say about that. Like, again, there are employees at this company that make less than $70,000. You know, some of them are closer to the entry-level section, and they've never gotten past that entry-level section. Like, there are certain things that I need you to be able to do before I can say, here, you can make more money. And I usually have talks with people. Like, for instance, you should be able to convert a 1-star review into a 5-star review. If somebody thinks we're scamming them and they are like really, really anxious and on edge, you should be able to have a conversation with them and get them to trust what we're doing, or at the very de-escalate the situation. There are certain things that I expect out of people to get to the next level, and some people haven't reached that level yet. But there are people here that do make $70K, and there are people here that make more than $70,000. There are people here that make more than $80,000. I'm not a millionaire. Like a lot of people think I am. I think the reason they think I am is because if they had the opportunities that I had made available to me, they would have done much better with them. And that's most certainly possible that if they had those opportunities, they would have done much better. But I screw them up, so I'm not. But yeah. Don't hire people whose name starts with an E. No, don't hire people whose name starts with a Kopaz. Erica? Erica? Mr. Clinton says hiss. Damn it, I watched them, says Travis. Okay, you're like 1 of 5. You're 1 of 5. Border pair videos. Yeah. I looked at my analytics last week. Every single border pair video that I published lost subscribers. Like some lost 100, some lost 5, some lost 50, some lost 200. But when I post a border pair video, the analytics show I lose subscribers every time. People fucking hate them. Border pair actually loses more than Oreo. Favorite Johnny Cash song? I don't have one, honestly. I'm sorry. Thank you very much for the $1.99. I appreciate it, but I don't listen to Johnny Cash, so I don't have an answer to that question. Let's see. I came for the cat. Reported stream. Indeed. Good point in the live class. How far behind am I? Help, Erica. I'm hungry, says Oreo. No, you're not! You're being fed. Erica's wearing an evil pig shirt. Yeah. Rachel says Louis took the blue pill. You sound like a troll. Let's see. I want to watch you mess with bootloaders. I don't. That sounds boring. 1,000 Rs is $10.15. That's not bad. And you love him still, Travis. I imagine you're talking about Oreo. No, Erica loves Oreo. That's Erica's cat, not mine. Favorite music genre? Hard to say. I don't have one. I enjoy Alice in Chains. I enjoy albums like Dirt and Facelift, but I much prefer Jar of Flies. I like that. I like Rachmaninoff. I'm probably mispronouncing that because I'm a schmuck. Are you a Mets or a Yankees fan? I think baseball is horribly boring. My dad would kill me for this. He's actually written 2 books and he got published on baseball and baseball history. I can't watch baseball. It bores the shit out of me. I can't watch sports in general because they bore the shit out of me, but particularly baseball. Thank you for the $2. I apologize, but let's see. All right. Let's see. The lighting is horrible this way. Actually, it's kind of better. Erica. Erica? Let's see. Let's see. Hello, Missy. I apologize that I know I have a Larry email that I have not responded to. I feel horrible about that. Actually, I have 2. I have one from Aryan Rivera and one from Larry Sharp. And another 3,000 that I probably should be. Loyalty to companies dead right, being a worker, says Barons. That's kind of basic. Then you give me more to work with there. What do you think the government has done a good job of or anything for businesses in New York City? Nothing. I'll be honest with you. Nothing. 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 I give them no credit. I give them none. I give the government of New York City 0 credit. I give them negative credit. What is Erica's favorite cookie flavor? What is Erica's favorite cookie flavor? Chocolate chip. She likes basic ones. I like, like raspberry cream and stuff like that. She always goes for the same shit. I always want to try the eclectic cookies, but she always wants to try the same ones.
I'm a brown butter chocolate chip.
That's still that's basic. It's basic. DJI Osmo, no live streaming option. Oh, GoPro has no live. No. We're not letting this fly. GoPro live stream. Okay, you want a live stream from a GoPro? Okay, let me show you what that's like. Are you in the Holiday Inn where we stole a TV from? We have never stole a television, Sonny, from a Holiday Inn. He's referring to the fact that we needed a monitor, I believe, when we were teaching 7 years ago. We were using the Holiday Inn. We were using the Holiday Inn as the conference room for teaching a class, and we needed another screen, so we stole the television from the hotel room. We did put it back, though. Okay, let me find this. No, there is no live streaming from a GoPro. So I did a video a while back that demonstrated how you live stream from a GoPro. If you call this working live streaming, then sure. But no, fuck off. That's not live streaming. That doesn't work. I refuse to allow someone to call that working functional live streaming. That's not. Like, GoPro live streaming is garbage. Do you own Bitcoin, and what do you think of it? I think it is a consensual Ponzi scheme. And I used to own it, and now I don't. Why would people unsub border pair? I don't know. I get so many people in my comments saying your channel's going to die because you don't post as many border pairs, and it's like they want to make me feel bad, and they think that they're using that as some sort of insult, but they're really not. I read my analytics, and I still produce them. I still produce board videos to this day. 4 of them came out last week. Every single one of those border pair videos, when you click on analytics, it says subscribers, -10, -100, -200, -300. Nobody wants to watch that stuff. I still produce it, but I just consistently give the middle finger to people that tell me what I need to do for my channel to be successful. Like, they can go gargle my balls. Let's see. What laptop are you streaming from? This is a Framework laptop. GoPros, the new ones are trash. Can't even get 4K live out of them. Bro, I can't even connect to this piece of shit. Here, I'll link it again. That's how you end up with a Hawaiian and she with a New Yorker. One wants exotic, the other one's plain. He called me plain.
You're plain?
I'm plain. I'm guessing you're exotic.
I thought you're raspberry cream, isn't that?
Thank you both for all you do, says Sonia. Please do a wiki page on your bike parts, controller wiring, etc. when you can. Love from Texas. That would be Hey. I don't want Repair Preservation Group to get sued for people getting set on fire. Sonia, I'll make a list of all my things. You know what? I actually have a bookmark that has all of my bike shit. So you know what I'm going to do, Sonia? I am going to make a list. I'm going to put that Amazon list in the wiki in the next week. Because I actually do have a list of stuff from when I had to rebuild it. GoPro is an overpriced Raspberry Pi with a cheap screen and camera. I don't know if it is a Raspberry Pi, but I do know that GoPro makes horrible products. Fundamentally horrible products. Would you ever open up in the market to fixing Framework laptops? Yes. Even if it was not profitable, I would still want to do it as a matter of principle. I want to support what they're doing. I can't support them financially in the way that Linus did because I'm a fuck up in life that fucked up in running his business and fucked up in running his personal finances and fucked up with many repeat businesses. But if I could support this company by helping them with their repair infrastructure or building out a repair infrastructure before they have that, I'd be more than happy to do it. Again, I have no problem doing that. And I would do that even if it meant that it was not amazingly profitable. I'm not in the best situation for that because I do live in one of the most expensive cities in the United States. So, again, my rates are not going to be the cheapest, but I would want to figure out a way to do that and make it work. Do you ever install Linux in your Framework? No, I am not a masochist. Big fan. I'm looking for a laptop. I like what Framework is doing. Should I wait to see what Apple has in store? I mean, they're entirely different products. So if you're considering a Framework versus a MacBook, like, you have to figure out what you want first. What do you value? Like, what are the reasons you would want a Mac? Because the reasons you would want a Mac are typically the exact opposite of the reasons that somebody would want a Framework. But yeah, like for instance, I have a VST plugin with OBS right here. And if I want to do this with Linux, have a limiter and all this on live stream, I would either A, need to spend 10 hours fucking around to get Jack Audio to work, and that is a patchwork of like just, oh my God, just horrible. Or B, love your channel, man. Thank you from Houston. Thank you very much for the $5 to Foss I'm sorry for fucking your name up. Phospholipid D. Thank you. I have to install, first I have to install a separate version of Wine, not the normal version of Wine. I have to install some wrapper for the VST plugin. I have to compile Open Broadcaster specifically to work with this VST wrapper that allows me to use these Wine plugins. It's like everything that I do in Windows, you have to come up with some convoluted ass way to do in Linux, even in 2021. If I was just doing basic web browsing and playing a game from time to time, then I would use Linux. But it takes the things that are supposed to be simple, and it is always some convoluted ass way to do the exact same shit I want to do in Windows and Linux. I used Mandrake in Slackware in 2002. From 2003 to 2014, I used Gentoo. In 2015, I used Debian and Ubuntu, and then I tried Debian and Ubuntu again in 2020, and for a little of 2021. And it's just like, again, all the shit that I want to do, it's always 10 times more difficult to do it in Linux than it is in Windows. And I always it's not that it's not doable. Like, you can do all the things that I do in Windows. It's just you have to spend 5 or 10 additional hours to figure out how to set up and do the exact same shit that I could just do in Windows. And I eventually just said fuck it and gave up, and I threw in the towel. After 13 years of Linux usage, I threw in the towel. I've never experienced this. You've probably never done what I'm trying to do. That's because I've never had that. I mean, have you tried to use a VST audio limiter plugin on a live streaming software? Probably not. Modern Ubuntu is generally as easy as Windows. Yeah, but you haven't tried to do exactly what I asked, what I was suggesting. And that's one example, right? But I could give you, like, if I had time, or if I wasn't journaling it. I honestly should have journaled it when I was using it. Like, there were so many small things where it's just 10 times harder to do that. And if I want to do something basic and easy, Linux at this point is desktop ready. Consumers can use Linux just fine. If there's any small specialized thing that you want to do, there's probably a tool that exists in Windows where you just double click and it works, and 5 hours of fucking around reading forums in Linux to get it to work. Yeah, like, again, if you want to web browse, FTP, do basic streaming, basic video editing, basic email, sure. But, like, there's these small things that just doing it in Linux is a clusterfuck. Oh, another example. So when I do border pair videos, let's talk about border pair videos. So I will often have a schematic, and I'll screenshot it, and I'll show it on the screen. But sometimes, because I'm only interested in showing you a small portion of the schematic, I will have something over that window. In Linux, if I have something over another window, thank you very much, Dimitri. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the $10. If I have something over a window and I'm using OBS to window capture that window, it'll actually flicker and blink on the area that the other window is overshadowing this window. So let's say this is the schematic. And let's say in front of the schematic, I have the board view. And I'm trying to show you something that's over here, so I don't care that this is being covered. It actually won't window capture this section. It'll blink like it's having a seizure. Whereas in Windows, that doesn't happen. Now, there is a different type of window manager, whatever the hell system that I could install to fix that. But I spent 2 hours troubleshooting that problem only to figure out I had to install an entirely new window management system to do that. It's like, I don't want to do that. I don't. I just want to use my computer. I just want to use my fucking computer to do what I actually want to do. I don't want to fuck with all that shit. I gave it 13 years. I am guilt-free at this point, man. I gave it 13 years of my life. I want my life back. You should totally check out this band that... Ah, crap. It disappeared from the screen because I was screaming about Linux. Fuck. Let's see. Where do I find that? One moment. I apologize profusely. I missed that because I was screaming and ranting about the time in my life Linux is stolen from me. You should totally check out Blind Melon's album Soup if you like AI Alice in Chains and music like that. The band is similar, but much more bluesy. Thank you very much. Oh, if you're broke, just put it in the normal comments. I'm reading the normal comments as I can. So I'm going to add that. So what's the name of that album? Shit, I can't add it because something else just showed up. Windows made using Linux and Android apps easy. Windows made... I don't understand that. I appreciate the €5, but I don't understand that. I am sorry. Let's see. Blind Melon Soup. I'm going to write that down. Blind Melon Soup. Thank you. Let me find the... Where'd my chat window go? I don't have dual monitors here, so I'm moving stuff around. Do you feel as though lobbying will always be the most effective way to get ideas discussed and passed? No, I think the most effective thing to do is get people to understand what right to repair is and get it to matter to them personally. Like, lobbying only does so much. You need to have coalitions of groups behind you. And one of the things I've always tried to do with this channel is get normal, average, everyday people excited about it. So what do? I show you how to repair your own things. My videos are not purely promotional. It's not, send it to me and I'll do it for you. No, it's, if you want to do this yourself, here is an educational guide on all the things you should understand before watching these videos. Here is how to do it yourself. Here's how you save money doing it yourself. Here's how you can make money providing these repairs for other people in your small town so that you can add a little bit to your bottom line. That's how you convert people. Once I have converted somebody, once I've allowed them to save $1,000 off of what the manufacturer wanted, once someone adds $50,000 a year to their salary or their take-home salary as a result of being able to fix stuff, now you're converted. And once you are converted, well, now it's easier to actually get something done. Lobbying doesn't work without coalitions, and you have a lot of work to do to build a coalition before any of that shit works. Blackberry is best girl. Thank you. Thank you very much. Blackberry is an adorable little kitten, and I do agree that she is superior to Oreo. What you need to do is you need to build coalitions first. And the thing is, I think I've been doing that with this channel. I've been doing this for the past, like, almost 10 years now. So now what I want to do is I want to do two things. A, I want to get groups that are completely not the demographic of people that are going to watch me ranting on a YouTube channel to understand what right to repair is and why it's important. And that's what the 501c3 is doing. We're going to be working closely with United States Public Interest Research Group Education Fund. I've been working with people like Nathan Proctor who work at US PIRG. We're going to be working closely with them to do as much coalition building and education as we can. Repair Preservation Group, the 501c3, is going to be working to make that happen through some large contributions we're going to be making. And the one that we GoFundMe, the Repair Preservation Group Action Fund, that is going to lobbying. But yeah, you do need to have people understand what this is all about first. Not just understand it because you walked around with a sign that said, we want this, we want this. That doesn't get you anywhere. But actually make a tangible change in people's lives that they can feel in their pocketbook, that they feel in their brain, they feel when they see what they made work again that otherwise was dead. Then the lobbying comes after that. But I think I've done enough with the first part at this point that lobbying may actually do something, because now this has been in the paper, this has been in CBC News, this has been something that gets talked about by the president. This is something that's made it into FTC reports. So we're at the point where I think lobbying would actually do something. Dear James, that does not help as the software MCAD do not work on Linux. Thank you for the $1. That is a strange sentence, but thank you. Sweet mercy, give Erica a cookie already. Maybe. What do you think of the European Union wanting USB-C as a standard for charging? I answered that in detail about 20 minutes ago. I apologize, I just can't answer the same thing again. What mic are you using? This is a DPA 4065. Why you clickbait? Because Mr. Clinton. I like Mr. Clinton. Don't be intimidated by Linux. I'm not intimidated by Linux. I used it for 13 years. I want to be able to spend more of my time on the things that matter to me than on figuring out how to fuck around with my computer. I could spend 2 hours doing a stream, or I could spend 2 hours trying to figure out how to get LinVST to work after installing a different version of Wine than the version of Wine that comes with my operating system, and then recompiling Open Broadcaster to work with that after troubleshooting every error in the process. And which would I rather do? Which is more productive to me? Do I use my computer to be productive, or do I use my computer to say that I use a particular operating system? And I'll be honest with you, for 13 years, please enjoy. Thank you very much, VG Moose, for the $9.99. I highly appreciate that. And I'll be honest with you, for 13 years, it was really about my ego. It was. I walked around thinking I'm smarter because I use Linux. It doesn't matter that I'm spending an additional 2 to 4 hours to do the exact same shit I could do in Windows. I am smarter. I am better. I am a better nerd because I use Linux. And I really had to come to terms with that. Because 2013 was an inflection point in my life where I realized that I was really shortchanging myself and my businesses with a lot of the decisions that I was making, and I started making different decisions that were more sustainable. And I started being more honest with myself. And there are many things that June of 2013. There's a lot that I changed. Thank you very much to Gerard Van Warden for the $4.99. I highly appreciate it. There's a lot of things that I had to change, and one of those things that I wound up changing was, why am I spending hours additional to get the same thing done that I can do in Windows? Because I have a lot of weird workflows. There's a lot of weird things I do with my computer. Yeah, if I'm just ringing up people's tickets, printing shit, occasional FileZilla, whatever, Linux is absolutely fine. It's totally fine for the desktop. It's just for those little specialized types of applications, everything is harder. Everything winds up being harder. Sounds like an issue with x.org. Yes, and that's the thing. With Windows, I don't have to care about that. I don't have to Google that. I don't have to troubleshoot it. If one window is in front of another window, and I'm using Open Broadcaster's window capture feature to capture the schematic window, I don't have to worry about my capture looking like it had a seizure. Thoughts on Evergrande? I have not read up on that because I have been traveling. It's been on the front page of Bloomberg for like a week and a half, and they've been talking about the S&P 500 going down as a result of it. I don't think that that's because of Evergrande. I think that's because literally every month for the past 7 months, the 17th to the 20th is like the day of reckoning for the entire market, and then it just winds up going back up to its typical bubble conditions, as you can see if you just look at a stock chart. But I think that the media in general, what they do is they look at something that's happening, and then they look at what the stock market is doing, and they try to connect this to this, even if there is no link, because they have no idea what's going on. Because nobody has any idea what's going on when it comes to financial markets. I think they're all making it up as they go. Dear LGR, and your points are fair. There are plenty of specific items that don't work cleanly out of the box. Maybe I'm biased, the software I use. Thank you, James. I appreciate the $5. You are more than welcome to use the free chat to talk to each other, but I will not object to you paying me as a middleman to talk to each other. But yeah. Free chat box is over there. But thank you very much. I highly appreciate it. I will use your money to buy Erica a cookie. Maybe a protein shake. Maybe another one. How's New York nightlife? I have no idea. I don't take part in New York nightlife. My idea of nightlife is streaming a border pair until 1 a.m. If you look at my live channel from like 2017 through nighttime to 2019, my idea of a nightlife is streaming border pair until 1 a.m. Okay. Do you have interest in checking out the Denver area? Lunch or dinner is on me if you visit. Thank you, Anonymous. I am interested in checking out that area. My CPA was telling me that Colorado is the best place to live in the country. And he's been traveling a lot recently because he wants to escape New York himself. Because he's realizing that he can do a lot of his work remotely, and there's just not a benefit to the amount of money he pays to be here anymore. Have you seen that the European Commission want to pass legislation getting USB-C as the only charge port? Yes, and I commented on it about 30 minutes ago. I apologize. It's too long a thing for me to repeat myself because then I'll miss a bunch of other questions. Can you please shout out my good friend Phil Burnell? He's your biggest fan. Hello, Mr. Phil. How are you? What does AMA stand for? What does Google stand for? Best clickbait answer ever. Holy 1K. That's 1,000 R's. I don't think that the 1,000... that's not 1,000 US dollars. Those are 1,000 R's. What OS best describes each of your cats? Mr. Clinton would probably be Slackware Linux. Strong, stable, outspoken. BlackBerry would probably be BlackBerry OS because of the noise she makes. The brr, 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 brr. That's why I named her BlackBerry. Oreo would likely be either Windows Millennium Edition or Temple OS. Probably Temple OS. Or probably, I think I would lean on Oreo being Windows Millennium Edition. I appreciate your honesty a few years back when I called you to get a fix in my 2011. You said not to waste my money. Thank you very much, Jared. I'm glad it paid off. Thank you for the $5, but I'm glad that that paid off. Do you have a close relationship with Apple because you don't talk about the scan? I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know what the scan is. If I Google the scan, the first thing that shows up when I Google the scan is a lung cancer screening test. I have no fucking clue what you're talking about, man. That sounds like, yeah, I have no idea. Keep up the good work on Right to Repair. To behave otherwise is madness. Thank you. Do you watch Netflix? Rarely. Life is too short. Effing with Linux. Yes, Robert, correct. Thank you for everything you do. I was very happy to hear about the executive order a couple of months back. Any progress on that with the FTC? I would like to create some form of documentation that goes over all the things that are done in this industry and how that breaks existing antitrust law and compares it to prior precedents where government agencies did something. I want to make their job as easy as possible. That's something that I'm working on. Will Framework go global? Hope so. Depends on whether or not people actually give a shit about repairability. It also depends on the amount of offerings they're able to make for different types of products that fit different groups of users, segments of users. And it also depends on whether or not they will be able to be financially viable. They're competing with a lot of other companies, and I don't think they have a giant profit margin right now in the very beginning. I missed the start of the stream because you started a stream while the other one didn't start. Hey, that ain't on me. That's on YouTube. I had a little green dot that said, excellent connection. Excellent connection. And above it, there was no video playing. So the stream key was right because it said excellent connection. And when I hit stop streaming, start streaming, it would change, but it never showed the video. That's an issue to contact Susan W. over. I, as a lowly peon, do not get to actually contact YouTube to ask for help with these issues. I get access to help articles. No, let's see. Any progress with FTC executive order? Asked and answered. Thoughts on cryptocurrencies? I think they're a consensual Ponzi scheme. Are you getting a Framework laptop? I have one. What do you think would be the cost cutoff point where an ISL mod wouldn't be viable? If we want to make this as a side project, probably could, not explicitly for profit. I don't know. Probably like, $10 maybe? 10, $15. I'm not saying it's not about a cost point. It's, if you release that right now, it's very useful. If somebody else finds where these chips are and makes them available, your mod becomes useless. And I don't know when that's going to happen, and I don't know if that has happened. That may happen tomorrow. I don't know, and that's what makes it unstable. It's not even about the price point. Check your email. New retro video sent a while back. Which email? I have a ton of different email addresses. Check your email. I have a lot of different emails. But I don't know new retro video. I don't know. Ask them where they emailed and what did they talk about. Definitely looking at Fort Collins, Colorado. I'll make a note to look for new retro video. If I find them, great. If I don't, oh well. How are your bikes going? My bikes are 300 or 400 miles away from me right now. So I'm not sure. And thank you very much. I have fiddled. Let's see. Where's that spoiled brat Clinton? 300 miles away. How are you enjoying your Framework? I love this little laptop. I have had it for a few weeks. I've been using it to encode all my 360 videos. I stopped doing 360 videos because YouTube is broken. Some videos that you upload to the 360 will get processed within a day. Some will take 2 or 3 weeks to process. So I don't do 360 videos as much anymore, but I was using it on vacation to process all those, and it does a really good job. Thank you very much to Elefunk13 for the €1. What do you think of real estate wholesalers? I don't know much about real estate wholesalers. Thoughts on new EU law? Asked and answered. Are you using the integrated Framework camera? Yes. Seems like you're keeping busy. When will you take a vacation? This actually is a vacation. So the Massachusetts lobbying and organizing thing was not a vacation. Afterwards, I took a trip to Vermont. I drove through Keene, New Hampshire. I drove through Lake Winnipesaukee. And now I am going to visit my friend Jessa, and I'm going to head back tomorrow. It's a short vacation, but I want to take a longer vacation later this year, but I don't feel like I have earned or deserve it yet. Do you feel as though the economic ramifications from COVID will be around long term? And if so, how will they impact urban areas like New York, Los Angeles, etc. over time? I think they're going to be around for the next 20 to 40 years. Yeah, I think they're going to be around for a long, 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 long time. And I don't know how it's going to impact urban areas. Hell, I thought that housing prices would go down at the beginning of last year. So needless to say, I'm not the right person to be asking that to. Slackware is love, Slackware is life. I haven't used Slackware in a long time. Wi-Fi has packet loss, Lewis. It may not have truly been excellent. No. Do you? What do you recommend when in search of iMac Pro repair? I don't know. It's a very generalized question, and I don't really know how to answer it. Someone else claimed your comments that the Samsung Z Flip bricks if you replace the camera. Heard anything like that? I haven't not. I don't, but that doesn't mean it's not true. It just means I haven't heard about it yet. That was rude to compare Oreo to Windows Millennium Edition. I would not do that to my worst enemy. It's true. Was Mr. Clinton named after Bill Clinton? Yes, he was. When I went to get Mr. Clinton the cat, he was in his own room because he kept humping the other cats and chasing them to hump them. And when they put him in his own room, he was humping the stuffed animals in that part of the house. So I named him after Bill Clinton, the rapist that was president between 1992 to 2000. Lewis, I appreciate your honesty. A few years back when I called to get your 2011 MacBook Pro fixed, and you said not to waste my money. Oh, awesome. I'm glad that worked out. Yes, don't fix that thing. How is the trust in hotel rooms in COVID times? Do you guys sterilize everything before touching? No, I don't. I no longer care. I got COVID. I beat COVID. I got vaccinated against COVID. I'm good. I'm 32 years old. I go running every day. I lift weights every day. I eat my chicken and my broccoli. I eat a decent diet. Like, I'm just, no, I don't care. Like, again, am I going into nursing homes and coughing on old people? No, I don't want to kill old people. I'm not Andrew Cuomo. Am I, purposely, injecting myself into situations where I'm going to be around vulnerable people? No. But, like, am I going to be scared entering a hotel room? Not really. Not really. Like, in the beginning of COVID, I shit you not, I had, like, my little alcohol spray bottle and all that. I sprayed the crap. Use Fedora, Linux, and i3. No, you're not convincing me. Thank you for the $5. I appreciate it, but no, I'm not going back. No. I like my life as it is. I would have a spray bottle. I sprayed everything. Every single time someone walked in the store, I sprayed the door handle. I stayed at the front of the store all day. I cleaned the desk after every visit. If someone sneezed, I fucking changed my spray bottle to whatever, it's from stream to spray, and I would spray the air around it. I bought a giant $800 air scrubber. I was all on it in the beginning of COVID because back then we were told that it was a 3% mortality rate, and then yeah. But again, I got it, I beat it, I got vaccinated. Like my life has moved on. I personally have moved on from COVID. I am not going into nursing homes and coughing on people. I'm not going into hospitals. I'm not organizing games of bingo with people that are in their 90s with diseases and disorders, and oh my god, that is so much, and there's no way I can read that before it disappears from the screen. People usually seem to think the lobbyists are inherently bad and morally bankrupt, I've observed, but what many fail to realize is that actually kind of neutral. People who are motivated and funded enough to invest can leverage it for good. Learn that from you. Thank you, Mr. Lumberton. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think lobbying is not inherently bad. It's just that lobbying is essentially, it's done by paying large amounts of money, and the people that tend to put insane amounts of money into lobbying tend to be advocating for things against average people's interests, which is, it's very difficult to remove money from politics because, I mean, like, I'm spending money on lobbyists. I'm spending money advocating for my interests. Am I evil? I don't think I'm evil because I'm making genuine arguments. I am not reading off a script. I am not scared to deal with the opposition. I'm not scared to engage with them and discuss why I think they're full of shit. And I'm also I'm not lobbying via bribery. I'm not one of those. I don't have enough money to do that. If I'm paying a lobbyist in one state $2,000 or $3,000 a month, and he's focusing on getting as many people to support right to repair as he can, like, that money is not going to somebody's fucking campaign. It's barely going to pay his rent. But yeah, I hear where you're coming from, and thank you. And I forgot where I was on right before that. I was on some rant before that, and I forget what it was. I don't remember what I was on, but I was on something. Let's see. You shouldn't lift weights every day. You need to give your body time to rest and repair. Nope, incorrect. You can lift weights every single day so long as you're doing, okay, A, you actually can. But B, the amount of time before delayed onset, your muscle heals itself enough that you can work out again before the delayed onset muscle soreness actually leaves. But B, okay, there's many ways to address this. So A, delayed onset muscle soreness still being present does not necessarily mean that you cannot get a benefit from exercising again, nor that you're damaging yourself. B, if you do less sets, you will have less delayed onset muscle soreness. So for instance, if you do one set of squats or deadlifts and you do a heavy, good quality set, you don't have to do 5 or 10 sets in a day. You can do one set, and if it's a good set, you could still get something done, and then you can work out the next day. But 3, I am not actually working out the exact same group every single day. So I may do squats on Monday, bench press bent over rows on Tuesday, midsection Wednesday, curls and triceps Thursday, deadlifts on Friday, and my ass has healed from Monday by Friday from the squats that I did. Like I don't need more than 3 days for my glutes to heal so that I can also do a deadlift. If I get an ancillary tricep pump from doing bench press, which is primarily chest area, on Tuesday, I don't need more than 48 hours of healing before I do a tricep isolation movement on Thursday. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're fine. That whole you can't work out every day. It depends on your programming. It depends on your routine, and that's mostly bullshit. Let's see. Are you skilled in overclocking or the performance tweaking? I don't find overclocking to be a skill. I'll be honest with you. Like I don't. A lot of it is just guesswork and figuring. Like a lot of it is guesswork. I used to be really, really into that shit when I was 16 and 17 years old because I was doing something. What's your workout program? I can't describe that without something else showing up before I'm able to finish answering the questions. I typically do squats, bench press bent over row, midsection, isolation movement, deadlift at the end of the week, and I go for a run every morning. And when I'm further away, usually a run every morning and night, and once I'm further away from the leg movements, then I will do a sprint run. The delayed onset muscle soreness fucks me up a little bit too much to be able to do a sprint run the day after I do squats. If I do squats or deadlifts, I'm not sprinting the next fucking day. I'll feel like I'm dead. But usually something like that. But I forget where I was. I was in the middle of something and it went away. Shit. Where was I? Oh, fuck. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, overclocking. Yeah, so back in 2006 through 8, I was doing something with my computer that I don't want to talk about that required it be faster than everybody else's, and I didn't have the money to buy some insane, crazy shit. So I remember putting I had my water cooling radiator mounted on my window in the middle of winter, and I'd have the window open, and I would have the water cooling tubes going out it so that it would actually cool my processor using water that was freezing, but I would put additive in the water so that it wouldn't freeze when it got to be below 32 degrees. It was fun, but at the end of the day, that's all guesswork. I don't find that to be some sort of crazy skill. You're just put more voltage in a processor, raise bus, whatever. You're cool it more. Maybe that'll come back to bite me in the ass that I said that, but I just don't find if you're engineering and actually fixing the board, that's hard. Or if you're building the board from scratch, if you're building and engineering a board, fine. If you're component level fixing the board and diagnosing it, fine. But overclocking is just not something that I don't know. Are you using the integrated framework camera? Yes, I am. You own a cat that humps without asking. Cancelled. Truth. Yeah. Mr. Clinton is a bit of a... He's a Clinton. He's my Clinton. He's my Clinton monster. What's your take on a subscription user product? Tractor, TV, MacBook model versus owning a product and using it. Many companies are pushing subscription leasing model. Scott Galloway talks about this. The recurring revenue bundle, otherwise known as the Rundle. There's a reason that companies are doing that, because it increases the PE that they trade at. So they can actually not have more assets, not be making more money, but they immediately start trading at a higher PE. So the company valuation goes up without them actually making more money when they switch over to a recurring revenue bundle model. So more and more companies are going to do that because, who wouldn't want their... if you could take your house And your house could go from being worth 100,000 to being worth 300,000. And you didn't have to improve it. You didn't have to change anything. You didn't have to build a deck. You didn't have to clean the windows. You didn't have to, do any landscaping. Would you do it? You probably would. And that's the way a lot of companies see it. They can make their company worth more money in the eyes of people valuing it, which then allows them to sell their stock for more money and be richer themselves, even without actually making more money. So I think you're going to see every single company move to that model because it allows them to be valued higher. What is Slackware? What is Google? What are your thoughts with the EU forcing... I answered that one half an hour ago. I can't keep answering that one. Did you say 20 to 40 years, damn? About what? I don't remember saying 20 to 40 years. What did I say? Give me context. I recall you saying you don't want to be a leader, but I think you're doing an excellent job spearheading movement for right to repair. Respect for what you do and keep it a good fight. I don't think I'm doing a great job because I am an asshole. And the problem is that when I come off as an asshole, which I kind of am, it winds up... taking people that would have supported right to repair and saying, I don't want to support it because it's associated with him. Which is why I think there needs to be other people that are spearheading this that are not me. Like, I'm not a PR person. I'm not a social person. I don't know how to address how I come off to not come off as an asshole. I've never been able to do that in any element of my personal life, so I sincerely have no idea how to do that with a movement. So one of the things I'm also hoping that Repair Preservation Group is able to do, once we are able to start getting smaller groups moving forward and advocating for this, is for there to be other faces to right to repair that are not me, because it needs to be about people other than me, organizations other than me, companies other than me, people other than me, because I'm an asshole. I don't know how to not come off as an asshole. Have you ever visited Europe? I have not. What is your favorite cookie flavor? I don't know. Any tips on getting first business loan? I got my first business loan by getting drunk, walking into the room of somebody that gave a lot of money to somebody I thought was an idiot, explaining how they were never going to get their loan money back, screaming at them in front of a group of people after finishing a bottle of Jaeger or Southern Comfort and saying, if you had given me 10% of that, I would have built an empire with it. I don't know if that's going to work for you, man, but that's the only way I've ever been able to get a business loan. I couldn't get a business. I really don't have any tips on that. I mean, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. But like, I wanted to get a business loan in 2019 to move my store. By the way, thank Jesus I did not. Because if I did, I would have went all out in building a perfect repair shop. I would be in so much debt right now as the economy is failing. Right now, I have a back rent at the store of about $83,000. So, Rossmann Repair Group Inc. owes $83,000. And if Rossmann Repair Group Inc. doesn't pay it, then Louis Rossmann personally owes it. Yay! But that's manageable. It sucks, but it's manageable. Can you imagine if I owe $250 or $450 or $800,000? Oh my God, I would probably be like, I'm not that mentally strong. I'll be honest with you. I'd probably be running off a bridge right now. Like, I'm not that mentally strong. If I were in Hawk $500,000 or something, I am so happy that they declined me. That I was really sad at the time when I got declined. I was really sad because I thought, I run a sustainable business. My business is based on actual net profit. I started this business with jack shit. And 10 years later, I still can't get a business loan. This sucks. But thank God. If I had gotten a business loan, I probably should have stayed put. If I'm being honest with myself, staying put was the right thing to do. I screwed myself, I screwed my business, and I screwed my employees by moving to this new location. I did not anticipate the economy going to shit. I did not anticipate New York completely fucking getting destroyed over the past year. I made the wrong decision. But I made the wrong decision with a limited amount of money. If I had made that wrong decision with a bank's money, oh God, my life would be destroyed right now. I'd be wiped out. Thank God I didn't do that. Like, do you need a business loan to do what you want to do? Figure out how to do whatever the hell it is you're doing the cheapest way humanly possible. Who gives a shit if your store doesn't look as nice? Who gives a shit if you don't have all the things that you want it to have, all the things that you think would make everything look perfect? Who cares? Build something in a way that makes sense for you, that's economically viable without going into debt. Because you never know when the entire world economy may get completely destroyed. One sec. Where do you get swabs that don't shed? I don't get swabs that don't shed. It's technique. It's not what I paid. It's technique. What I do is I don't do this. I don't go back and forth. What I do is I rotate it like this. So I'm always rotating it. So the swabs do shed, but since it's constantly being rotated, the pieces that shed wind up getting wrapped onto the Q-tip. Good training tips. Definitely will try that. Again, go to a personal trainer or somebody. I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about with working out. So, like, speak to somebody that's actually a professional with it. The Novo X1 laptop has a YT backspace key that randomly stops working. Notice that in HP models too. What defect is this commonly? Your keyboard is broken. I mean, if you want me to say, like, your keyboard is broken because the A1 trace going to the U5-8 chip is the thing that dies, then you're going to be disappointed. I don't have that level of an answer. Your keyboard is broken. Like, I apologize. I appreciate your $4.99. I don't have an answer to that. I've never gone that into it with the keyboard. When a keyboard is broken, I just rip the shit out and I put a new one in because keyboards cost $14. So I've never really digged into it to figure out why a keyboard is not working just because a keyboard is $15. What do you think of Gamers Nexus? I think that the internet needs more people like him in more industries. I watched what he had to say about the California law regarding computers and power supplies and the way he broke everything down, the way he researched everything, the way he presented everything. I like what he does, but there needs to be different versions of him for different sections of society. Like, there needs to be a Gamers Nexus for... There should be a Gamers Nexus for, I don't know, cars, and then a Gamers Nexus for plumbing, and then a Gamers Nexus for, you know, for foreign policy. And I like the way he presents things. I like the way he researches things. I hope the best of success for him in all of his endeavors. And, you know, I think he deserves and earns all of the success that he has with his channel and in life because he is honest. He presents things in a good way, and I am very happy to see that he is doing well. The artwork hanging on the wall is awful. I mean, it's a hotel. What do you expect? I was supposed to be going to the gym. PF, sorry, not sorry. What's poof? And actually working out. And I did for a while. But one day I realized I was just going in and doing tanning bed massage chair every day. That's odd. Have you considered going into electronics engineering? No, I don't think I'm smart enough for that. I don't think that's where I'm going to provide my value to society. My son is disappointed. No cat like in thumbnail. Clickbait! Yep. I gotcha. Send the framework to jerry-rig for liquid and durability test. And if it breaks, you can review its repairability. It's not a bad idea. How far behind are regular comments right now? I'm up to 2:28 p.m. You should visit repair shops outside America. That is going to be way too expensive and not really help me with passing right to repair in my country. Thanks, man. I want to bet. Friend said Louis would have a better answer than I would. Nope, we think alike. Just replace keyboard, boom, done. Yeah, don't. Nope. Nope, just replace the fuck. Like, I know you wanted me to say that this trace goes to this thing. No. A keyboard is $14. I take keyboard, I rip keyboard out, I screw new keyboard in. A keyboard, again, like if a keyboard's $14, I mean, like, what am I? I'm not going out of my way to reverse engineer it to figure out why it is the way it is. And then have to deal with it coming back 2 months later when my fix didn't work. Some of my Google Play Awards money is expiring. Here's a donation for support. Thank you very much. Shimarsky Simon for the Canadian $5. I used to work on right to repair stuff with Mass Pirates. It was never super popular. I've never heard of Mass Pirates before. Thoughts in EU forcing companies like Apple to use a standardized charger? I answered that about 40 minutes ago, and I can't keep answering that one. I'm 18, I make $43 an hour at my first job, having not graduated high school or gone to college. Why am I unhappy? Because you're a meme lord. You could tell from the name. So what you have a sense of nihilistic trolling about you. So like just the name in and of itself, like let's say you believe that to be true. You put that there instead of your name. So I mean, you're probably unhappy. Thank you very much to name I cannot read for 20 rubs. Thank you for the 20 rubs. I'll enjoy those 20 rubs. But I think there's a sense of nihilism there. You make good money, but you don't have a purpose in life. Because the name that you had leads me to believe that you are one of those people that hangs out on 4chan, that posts random trolls, and a lot of the people that do that, they're not bad people. They're just really nihilistic, and they believe that there's no purpose. So what's your purpose? Where do you fit in? How do you make the world better? What do you do that other people can't do? And what are you working towards? Nihilism does. I've had a lot of people push back against this, but I've never met a happy and mentally healthy nihilist. I'm always open to it. But I've never met a mentally healthy and happy nihilistic person. I think that may be some of that. Do you have IBS? I don't know what IBS is. Stop using acronyms. Just type shit. Tell me what you want to say. I don't. No unanticipated economic nightmare. Don't be so hard on yourself. Yeah, but like, I made a bet. I made a bet that business would continue on the course that it was, and I fucked myself. It is what it is. I focus on what I could control, and I can control my decisions. I can't control what everybody else does in the world, but I can control my decisions. So if I focus on myself, I have a chance of fixing things into the future. If I focus on everything else, then I'll become some black-pilled doomer that believes that the world is fucked and there's nothing I can do. Have you experienced or heard about broken fans often on Lenovo Legion laptops? No, I haven't, but I don't service them a lot. Thank you for the $5, Robot Destroyer. I don't service those very much. I really primarily, when I use ThinkPads, I would only use the P or the T or the X or the W series. The rest of them tend to be as cheap shit as every other laptop out there. I'm not a Lenovo fanboy. I was a ThinkPad fanboy. And specifically a T series, W series, P series, or X series. The rest of what Lenovo makes, in my experience, is just as shitty as what you get from every other laptop manufacturer when it comes to durability. Great advice. I was just about to go into debt. Avoid it, Christian. Avoid it. IBS is irritable bowel syndrome. Oh, yeah, I don't think I have that. So, if I had actually gotten the business loan that I was looking for, and I went into that level of debt, like I'm not even kidding when saying the level of stress I'd be experiencing right now, I'd probably just walk off a bridge. Like I already have an insane amount of stress right now. But if I had actually done that, I would, just don't do it. How do you maintain a muscular physique while working as a computer repairman? I don't have any muscles. Look at this. Look at this. What is this? What is this? This isn't a muscle. I don't have any muscle. Look at this. I have girly arms. And not Dana Lynn Bailey ones either. Other than that one incident, I hope you enjoyed your time in Boston. Boston means a lot to me, and I always hope that others get the same enjoyment. I did. I really enjoyed traveling the state. And again, that one instance wasn't enough to ruin it for me. I enjoyed it. And thank you very much to Nick for the $5. OnlyFans erotic fan spin. Something. Louis, we were entertained with all the real estate and repair stuff and repair business. It was dystopian level stuff. You made quality YouTube content. Thank you. Alright, where am I? Where was I? I hear arguments against right to repair about people want thinner products can only be made in closed seal. Total horseshit, right? I mean, look at how thin the framework laptop is. I think that is total horseshit. So let's say you make a thinner product, right? Let's say you make a thinner product. What's the argument for not making the chips available for me to fix it? Have you ever heard me once on this channel complain that the reason that I can't repair a product is because it's too thin. If you go back through over 1,200 of my videos, how many times have I said the reason I can't repair this product is it's too thin? Never. Never. I've never said that I am pissed off that they used BGA instead of QFN or chips with legs. I have never said that I can't replace this chip because it is soldered instead of being socketed. That's never what you hear. What I say is, I would love to be able to fix this in your hyper thin product, but I can't buy that chip because the company that produced this product told the company that made the chip, don't sell it to me. Right to repair has nothing to do with the product being too thin. Obviously, I would prefer to have some room to work, but that's not the main thing that's stopping us. It's a straw man, and what it's done, it's done to try and scare consumers. They want to scare consumers into believing that I don't want phones to look like this, that I want phones to look like rotary phones. So if you can scare customers, if you could scare consumers and voters into believing that right to repair means that you will be stuck with a rotary phone, then they will vote against it. So what they do is they completely straw man the argument for right to repair. How often do I talk about things being too thin? That's not it. That's not what makes it unrepairable. I will say that the obsession with making things thin and getting rid of bezels and things that would allow me to actually drop this without it immediately cracking, yeah, that pisses me off. But that pisses me off on a personal level, and I do not bring my personal pissed offness into right to repair. Although, admittedly, there are many things I'm pissed off about that apply to right to repair. But me personally saying I would not mind if this phone was thicker, if it meant that I got better battery life or more durability, I don't carry that into right to repair at all. What's the difference between S5 and G3 Hot power rails? G3 Hot comes first. Why do you stream at 20:41 in the evening? Why do you use 24-hour clocks? That's weird. Louis is using it framework laptop that he bought. He purchased it to help the company. It is not a gift. Incorrect. I did not pay for this. I did not pay for this. I do not. I didn't buy this. I got this for free from Framework. So again, if I were in the market for a laptop, I'd buy this. But I have a ThinkPad that I bought in 2017. That ThinkPad still works, and I would have driven that into the ground. Most of the time I don't replace things because oh, look, a squirrel. I buy a new one once I've destroyed my old one. How can I be more financially responsible? You can be more financially responsible by not acting on your impulses. A lot of people, I think, they spend emotionally and then they justify it intellectually. A lot of people will spend emotionally and then, say, well, I really want that new computer. Well, it's better. It produces the videos a little bit faster. It encodes the videos 20 or 30 minutes faster. Yeah, but it cost you $6,000. Well, yeah, but you wanted the new fucking computer. You know what I'm saying? Love what you're doing. Keep it up. Thank you, Andy, for the 5 skids. Thank you. I appreciate the 5 skids. Do you really need a computer that encodes video 20 or 30 minutes faster? Like, would it kill you to cue the video and then just take a shower and come back when it's done? Or go for a walk? Or just have it encode while you're sleeping? You wanted the new thing. You emotionally wanted the new thing. But then you intellectualize it by saying, well, if it encodes faster, I'll be able to produce videos faster. If I can produce videos faster, then more people will watch. Is that really true? Maybe that's true for Linus. Maybe that's true for someone with 13 million subscribers that's pumping out content all the time. That's highly what's the word I'm looking for? Like, has high production quality. It's probably not true for you. People do this with cars and all sorts of shit. Be honest with yourself. Being honest with yourself, I think, is the answer to being more financially viable. Where was I? Thoughts on EU? I'm protesting the EU USB question on principle because I already answered it and people won't stop spamming me asking to answer it. I'm protesting that one on principle. Thoughts on Gabby Petito? I actually had a talk with Erica in the car the other day, and I'm going to be uploading some of the 5 to 8 hour long car videos as we were traveling to the live channel. We had an interesting argument about that. I feel bad for her. Obviously, dying on the side of a mountain is typically not how people want their life to go. Are cheeseburgers sandwiches? No, they're burgers. But yeah, with the Framework laptop, I did not pay for this. Like I have now, if I was in a better position, I probably would buy it just to make a statement. But I'm not. Again, financially viability of things. Again, like I would be intellectualizing an emotional thing, which is I already have a laptop that works. My ThinkPad worked just fine. You know, again, it was getting a little slow and it was thick, but that ThinkPad worked. It was a P50. It's slower than this laptop and it's thicker than this laptop and it has worse battery life than this laptop, but it worked. And I run my shit into the ground until before I buy a new one. Do you think Apple products retain their value as status symbols? Sucks. Just having one makes them worth more regardless of how crap the design is. No, I don't think that sucks. That means I don't. Would people value again? If people want to value it higher, I don't really think it holding its value as a bad or inherently good or a bad thing. There's nothing about it. I don't have an opinion on that. And thank you for the $5 though. But yeah, I don't think it's an inherently good or a bad thing. Greetings from Russia. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Nipuadkopils being what? I'm sorry, I can't say your name. Thank you for the 40 rubs. I can't say that. I went on a date with a nihilist once and he ended by saying I was too happy for him. Holy. Charmian, tell me more. That's weird. That's really weird. Why would you want to be with someone who's miserable? Oh, that's strange. Again, oh man, that's weird. Has Louis already discussed the EU USB-C proposition? Yes, in the beginning, and I don't care to answer it again. I don't want to be with someone who's miserable. I don't want to be with somebody who's all, oh my god, what a great day! I don't want to be with somebody who's ditzily, insanely happy all the time that just has nothing going on up there. But I don't want to be with someone who's fucking miserable either. When are you going to put a ring on it? Fuck Beyonce, fuck that song, fuck all that propaganda. What kind of music do you listen to? Not Beyonce. I know what runs the world, and it's not what Beyonce thinks it is. And I'm not... let's see. Have you watched EV Blog's video comparing New York real estate with Sydney real estate? No, but that's going to be next on my list. I feel most framework repairs could be just motherboard swap, and then some people refurbing the main motherboards. Hey, I'd love to do that work. I'd be humbled and honored to be able to be an authorized repair shop for framework machines. Louis, have you ever seen that guy who comes to you about the settlement that needs help? What? I don't know what you're talking about. Makes no sense. How do you feel about parents giving children phones at younger and younger ages and seeing kids being wheeled around in grocery carts with face glued to the screen in public? I have no problem with people getting phones at a young age. I really don't. Like, I started using a computer when I was 6 years old. I didn't get the internet until I was later on in life, until I was about 12 or 13. And that really stunted my growth in terms of learning technology. If I had the again, I wrote my first computer program when I was 6. Not a program. It was a math test, and it would give you different answers based on how far off your answer was from the right one. So I had a little algorithm thingy that tried to figure out how far off your answer was, and it would insult you more and more based on how far off your answer was. I was a prick even when I was 6 years old. But what's necessary is for your parents to sit down with you and explain, here is how social media can affect you. Here is how social media can fuck up your life. Here is how social media can break your dopamine sensors in your brain. Here's how your brain works. Here's how your brain chemistry works. And here's how this stuff is engineered and designed to fuck with it. You know, like have that talk with your kid. But yeah, I mean, I was doing all sorts of shit on my computer that if my parents knew I was doing it, they would have taken it away from me. I guarantee. I'm not even talking about porn. Because porn, my parents probably expected that I was using my computer for porn. But like, I was doing all sorts of shit on that computer that my parents would have ripped it from me if they knew I was doing it, which is why I would always, make sure they couldn't see what the hell I was doing. But that was also a big part of how I became knowledgeable. It helped me learn about the world. It helped me, it helped me in a lot of ways. And now I'm curious about Framework. You should be. Amazing little company. I'm behind by about 10 minutes. I'm up to 2:45. My apologies. I thought he purchased it. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't buy this. I felt like shit when I heard that. Like Linus is like, they offered me a free one and I bought it, and it's like, yeah, aren't I a fucking schmuck? Because I took it for free when they offered it. I really wanted to buy it. It's just weird. It's like I'm looking at this. I haven't taken an honest to God real vacation in a long time. My business has an $83,000 back rent debt that I'm. Oh my! What is with the small text? You might benefit from some sort of stream overlay for the streams that bookmarks or ticks the checklist. The most commonly answered questions you've already answered. I probably would, but I would have to figure out a way to do that. A screen overlay that bookmarks or ticks a checklist. But then I'd also have to figure out a way to take what I answered in the stream and then timestamp it. And I don't think you could timestamp streams. I'm open to coming up with a solution for this, Mr. Lumberton, but I'm not quite sure what that solution would be. But yeah, I'm looking at this and I'm just looking, like, I'm in the middle of negotiating with my landlord a way out of this $83K of back debt. I don't know what I don't know what the future holds for my business or anything else. Do I want to buy this for $1,000 when I already have a working laptop? No. I like it. I think it's a cool machine. If my ThinkPad were irrevocably destroyed, I would have bought this. But yeah, if they want to send it for free, I'm not going to say no. Because all of my review videos where I review a piece of equipment, they wind up being monetized to about 13 or 44 bucks. Like my old ThinkPad video, it's been 4 years since I reviewed the ThinkPad P50. That video has made me $43. So I'm not a hardware reviewer. Like the videos that go viral on this channel is, look at this subway grate. Because I don't know what the fuck is up with my audience. They're not interested in anything that I actually care about. They're not interested in board repair. They're interested in subway grates. But yeah, I'm a piece of shit. I bought it. You make it very difficult for me to despise libertarians. Thank you. Again, I'm not full anarcho-capitalist. Like, I'm not the guy that was debating Sam Cedar years ago saying, when Sam Cedar asked a basic question, so how would you deal with deeds, property deeds in your society? Like, I'm not destroy the government right now. I am libertarian leaning, meaning if there is going to be 900 pages of regulations for a license on how to sell laptops, and we are so fucked that the state and the city government cannot explain to me how to comply with those regulations, maybe we delete a couple of them. Not all of it. Not destroy the DMV. Not get rid of driver's licenses. Not get rid of courts. Can we just roll back a little bit? Just a little bit. Teeny tiny bit. I try to not be ideologically possessed with it. How do you stay in shape when traveling? I have resistance bands with me, and I use the hotel gyms. The hotel gyms often suck, so if they're empty, I'll use my resistance bands. It's not as good as working out at home, but it is better than doing nothing. It'll also go for my run. None of your business, angry tech addict. None of your business. Also, oh, you're spamming me now. You're copying and pasting it. Okay, now you can go. That's a fucking annoying. Okay, that's annoying as hell. Can I interest you in an extended warranty for your car? Timeout. Next. Is the Framework laptop camera? Yes, it is. You satisfied with life? Life could be way worse, man. I'm not fully satisfied, but I'm satisfied enough. Louis, in your opinion, have restaurants and places in New York started enforcing proof of vaccines to enter? I don't know because I don't go to them anymore. I've responded to that by opting out. Like, what do I get from eating out in New York City anyway? I'm going to spend $80 on dinner. at a very, very tiny place that's not really upkept very well. I mean, like what I've done with the vaccine mandate to be in a restaurant in New York City is I've looked at it and just been honest with myself. Do I really need to be spending money eating out at restaurants? And the answer to that is no. I would just go get my sandwich at the Ghetto Bodega, where I can pay $4.50 for whatever I want on a roll or a hero and get something that I want, because that's more economically viable for me than spending 30 or 50 or 80 bucks going out to a restaurant. Like I don't really, I'm not a person that goes out to eat very much. And I got the vaccine. You know, I have the card in my wallet. I know that there's some fuckface that's going to call me anti-vaccine after hearing this. Not anti-vaccine, anti-shitty mandate. Got my little card right over here. But like, it's just a principle thing. If you're gonna try to have a little carrot that says you don't get to take part in life again until you get this, then fine, fuck you. I won't take part in it either. I'll get the vaccine because it makes sense for me. It makes sense for me to get it. I don't have any problem getting it. But like, no, I'm not jumping through hoops for you fuckface of a mayor. But at the end of the day, it's probably a good thing for my finances, because I'm not going to be going out to fancy, expensive restaurants in New York City, which is a good thing. Like, why should I be spending 50 to 80 bucks on a meal during a time where I don't know if my business will exist into the future, where I don't know what it's going to happen with inflation in the future. I don't know what's going to happen I don't know if the stock market is going to crash into the future, because S&P 500 is kind of starting to look like GME there. I don't know what's going to happen into the future. Does it really make sense for me to spend 50 to 80 bucks on a meal? No. Thank you very much, New York City government, for encouraging me to be more fiscally responsible. Since schematics for framework boards only be available prior to shops, would you still be allowed to stream framework board or pair with schematics? I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good fucking question. Because here's the thing. At the end... that's a weird one. That's going to be awkward as hell. Oh, that's going to be so awkward. That is going to be awkward as hell. Because here's the thing. At the end of the day, let's say that they made the schematics available and said you can't stream with them. Okay, well, I mean, I'm streaming with Apple's, and Apple hasn't taken down my channel yet. That would be really, really weird if Framework filed a DMCA claim on my video because I streamed with a schematic when Apple wouldn't. Because that would put them in the position of technically, in practice, being more against right to repair than Apple. And they would never do that. They would never put themselves in that position. But I would be being an asshole if they asked me, listen, you can have the schematic to fix it. We're just asking that you not stream it, and I actually did it. That would be being an asshole there. However, if I'm willing to stream with Apple's stuff, then why would I not be willing to stream with theirs? That's what we call awkward. That's bringing your girlfriend, that's bringing your fiance to meet your dad and his drunk uncle for the first time during Thanksgiving dinner, while she's wearing a "no human is illegal" thing, and your uncle's wearing a MAGA hat. Like that's awkward. That's what we call awkward. I'll be honest, I haven't thought that through. That's gonna be a fucking awkward moment. No way around that awkwardness. Oh, that's going to be weird. That's going to be weird. Weird. Yeah, it's worth asking. Restaurants are a waste of money. Save that and make food at home. Thank you very much, Mayor de Blasio. You've accomplished one thing. You've convinced me that it makes more sense for me to not eat at restaurants. I will save so much money as a result of that. Because every now and then I get lazy and I go to a restaurant when I know I shouldn't go to a restaurant. Thank you. Any funniest channel video moment you could think of, funniest shit ever, was the Brenner Construction voiceover IP troll. Shooting Steve in the dick with a Nerf gun, by far. That was my personal favorite. Also, hitting Steve in the dick with, when I knocked down all the apple boxes and he was filming it, the way the apple boxes flew, it hit him right in the nuts, and it was caught on camera. It was perfect. The face, like, oh! I feel bad. I like Steve. I shouldn't be saying that about him, but yeah. Hitting Steve in the dick with a Nerf gun, and then with a bunch of apple boxes, it was probably the funniest moment on this channel. Should self-repair and validate the manufacturer's warranty repair program. Not enough information provided. Did you break it or did you not break it when you repaired it? Which vaccine you took? I took the Moderna one. I took the Moderna one back in April, and I got the second shot at the end of May. I owe my $100 for the vaccine I got half a year ago. Me too, man. I put it towards my rent. Mandate incentivizes the one who are anti-vax, though. Incorrect. Incorrect. And that is why I am anti-mandate. I am anti-mandate because I am pro-vaccine. And a mandate incentivizes people who are anti-vaccine to go, oh, now you're trying to force me? Well, you know, I was thinking of getting it, but fuck you. Think about it. I mean, like, just thinking about my personal temperament. I have no problem with getting the vaccine. I think getting the vaccine makes sense to do. I would like to see more people get this vaccine so that hospitals don't get filled up more and more and more to the point where you have shit like what's going on in Idaho, where, you know, you may want to go to the hospital for certain things and they're saying no because you may get COVID while you're there. I think it makes sense for people to get the vaccine. Less people are going to get it when you do these mandates, because what you're doing is you're giving every conspiracy theorist on planet Earth ammo. They're going to force you to do it. No, they're not. You're crazy. They're going to force you to do it. They're going to force you to do it, man. And then they're going to track you. And then they're going to make a vaccine passport. They're going to do it, man. No, they're not. You're crazy. And then they actually do it. You just proved them right. Yeah, great. Great job, asshole. And Millie, there's people like, I can't tell you what it is in my head. It's something about the way I am. Maybe I'm just fucked up in the way I'm wired mentally. I'm not against that being tossed out there, that my mental wiring is fucked up. I got vaccinated. I have no problem with it. When a restaurant says, we want to see this card and you can't walk in without it because Mayor de Blasio says so, it activates the part of my brain that says, fuck you, I'm not going to do that. It does. I'm not against this. I got it. My girlfriend got it. My employees got it. My manager got it. Everybody around me that I know got it. I have no problem with vaccines, but when I can't enter a place because they say I need to show a card because the mayor demanded on public television that this happened and then mandated it when my mayor is an asshole, that causes me to say, whatever it is you offer, I'm not doing it. Just on fucking principle alone. And you're going to have a lot of people out there that, admittedly, maybe they're fucked in the head like I am and wired wrong, that are going to do that. Or they're probably just not going to get the vaccine anyway. And now they're going to double down on a decision that I think is bad. I don't think avoiding the COVID vaccine is a good life decision. I don't think avoiding the COVID vaccine is a good medical decision. I think people should get the COVID vaccine. But now you're incentivizing people that have the same fucked up mental wiring I do to double down on a bad decision because they hate you. How is that good? How is that good? You are not incentivizing people who are anti-vax to get a vaccine by saying you have to get this to go in a restaurant. What you're doing is you're incentivizing people who are anti-vaccine to A, become further anti-vaccine, because being anti-vaccine then gets seen as I'm being anti-asshole mayor, but B, it incentivizes them to not go to restaurants anymore. Hell, I'm not even anti-vaccine, and I am not going to restaurants that demand that I have a vaccine passport to walk in. So imagine what's going to happen with people who are full-on anti-vaccine. Okay. $50 a meal isn't the meal, but the fun times at night you get with your wonderful girlfriend after the meal. If I need to spend $50 to have a good time with my girlfriend, I'm dumping that woman and moving on to somebody who's not a superficial, low-quality mate. Because that's what it is. If I have to spend $50 to have a good time with you, you're a low-quality mate. Like, just bar none. Some of the best times I've had with Erica have been where we spent no money. We visited some beach that you're not supposed to go to on Staten Island at one point, and we climbed up and we pretended we were the lifeguards at 2 a.m. and we were watching something happening in the water. And, like, that was incredibly fun. That cost no money. The best times that I've had with the people that I've gone out with were the ones that cost no money. I do not have to spend $50 to have a good time with a woman. And if I have to spend $50 to have a good time with a woman, she ain't the right woman, and I'm probably not having a good time. New York City has a great real estate system. If Louis makes his landlord disappear in a mountain, there are still over 60 people in the co-op making sure the rent is collected. Sonny, that's something else. Sonny's something else. Okay, what do I got for the last 5 minutes? That's going to be a spicy comment section. What do you think about the anti-retrorepair rules in regard to central heating units? I know nothing about that. Email me, Louis at fight2repair.org. Louis at fight2repair.org. You're going to have to spell my name right to send that email. Laughing my ass off. There's a story, 2 anti-vaxxers and they both died of COVID. GG. You're going to have a lot of stories that show up. This person was very, very anti-vaccine, and next week they died of COVID. But that's kind of like, you're not seeing the rest of it. You're not seeing this 80,000 people didn't get the vaccine, and they don't care, and they're still living their life. Like, it's an easy clickbait title. You know, Reverend that was anti-vaccine has died of COVID. Ha ha. Easy title, easy click. You know, it's not 80,000 people that you've never heard of didn't get the vaccine and are still living their lives just fine. You're not going to see that either. Lunch in New York City can easily be $20 for one person. Bro, New York City, are you kidding? Lunch in New York City can easily be $20 for one appetizer for one person. For one appetizer for one person. Going out to eat is a waste of money. It is a giant waste of money. And admittedly, this is one way of breaking my habit. This is one way of breaking that habit. I don't want to give de Blasio his win. Do you feel as though protest is an effective way of changing perception of an issue and implementing change at political level? No, I was protesting your question because you kept copying and pasting it, and my protest failed because I answered it. I don't. If you, well, what is protest to you? If you mean holding a sign and walking down a street, you will never see me do that. I don't think that's effective. I don't think that changes minds. I don't think that changes people's lives, and I don't think it's going to result in much of anything. I don't think that walking around holding a sign is going to work. And I think that the amount of times that it does work are outnumbered by the amount of times that it doesn't work and didn't get anything done and got nowhere. I think that the actual, the way that an effective protest is a protest where, how do I put this? Figuring out a way to get whatever it is you're protesting to personally affect a group of people in a positive way so that they're more invested in your cause. And then they start making decisions once they are in positions of power to actively work for your cause, rather than just walking up and down and holding a sign. I don't think you will ever see me walking up and down the street with a sign. Let's see. What do we got here? Do you think the company will buy out Framework? Do you think Framework will sell? Do you think there are organizations that will buy this just to shut this down? I don't think so, because I don't think that they have enough proof that they're a threat yet. They're not a threat until they're selling hundreds of thousands of millions of units, and they're very, very, very far away from that right now. They're not enough of a threat that I think it's worth it for somebody else to buy them out. I think they may be, and I hope they become at some point. Herd immunity was pushed by people that don't care who their servants are. I don't think so. I think herd immunity was pushed by people that just did not want to accept that we're going to be in a world where we all just live indoors and live in fear of potentially transmitting something to somebody and live under tyranny of politicians telling you who you can and cannot see, where you can and cannot go, when you can and cannot work, who can and cannot work, and they were just looking for anything that would be better than that. And they just came to herd immunity. And also, at the time that herd immunity was being pushed, you really didn't have much. You had like you had yeah, you really didn't have much in terms of solutions. Now you have vaccines, which are a considerably better solution. Considering how Delta variant can infect vaccinated people, I don't think the shots are useful anymore. I don't care if I get infected. I care if I end up in a hospital. I get infected with shit all the time, but I don't end up in a hospital. And a lot of the times that I get infected with stuff, I probably don't even notice because it's just a minor cough or a sneeze there, or I feel a little hazy, but then 2 hours later I feel fine. I don't give a shit what I get infected with. I care about how it affects my life and how it affects me going to the hospital. And the fact that, the numbers of people that are winding up in the hospitals in the United States, vaccinated versus unvaccinated, honestly, that was enough of a case for me to get vaccinated. Okay. About time to get out of here. About time to go. Have you invested in crypto? Not anymore. You already got burned by that consensual Ponzi scheme shit. No more. I have so many shit coins that I can't even trade anywhere anymore. No. Okay. I'm out of here. You never answered my questions. Let's see. What are your questions? Do they suck or are they any good? What's your opinion about salsa? Oh, that question sucks. Get out of here. All right. I'll see y'all later. See you later. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching.